I believe that the government must know its priorities and get the priorities right. You are saying that you're giving over $290 million to support PMMC, which is on its way to metamorphose into gold bond. And then you are telling us that the gold bond, they are going to buy and sell gold and also regulate. This is what you are telling Ghanaians, that this gold bond, you are going to release $290 million. And you are also going to buy from small-scale miners. How sure are we of your intent? But we'll leave that for another day. But I ask a simple question. Why is it that when it comes to the Ministry of Defense, those who are sacrificing what they need to do their work is not a priority to you? Then this so-called reset, what is it about? And then the minister comes to Parliament, does not make a case at Cabinet, comes to Parliament. Yes, well, if you made your case at Cabinet, speak into the mic. You don't make your case in Cabinet. You allow Cabinet, because before this budget,
Honorable Minority Leader, your colleague,
before this budget, the majority leader told us that there was going to be a cabinet meeting to discuss the budget before.
Honorable Minority Leader.
And the defense minister did not make a case.
Your colleague.
Oh, very well, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
If you are recognizing him on the point of order,
yes,
it's no problem.
Yes.
But he should make sure he doesn't argue.
Yes. Honorable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader does not know what happened at Cabinet. He is unable to tell. So he cannot say that the minister did not make his case in Cabinet. And Mr. Speaker, the minister is also under oath. So the minister is unable to get up and also disclose proceedings of Cabinet. Mr. Speaker, it is convenient for him to stay away from that kind of allegation and discussion, because the minister cannot respond and he cannot also substantiate his claim. So, Mr. Speaker, let us proceed with the substantive matters. And also on the issue of gold board and the purchase of gold. If government purchases gold, it is an asset. It is an asset. It's not an expenditure. It is an asset which will be used to exchange for products, which will then be used to repay for the purchase of the gold.
Leader, when you get there, then you can. So, Honorable
Mr. Speaker, so I've now seen through the new strategy of the Majority Leader. When I make my submission, he has to counter immediately. So this is not a point of order, but another submission from the NDC caucus. Very well. That's okay.
For the opportunity to clarify. Mr. Speaker, the government of President John Dramani Mahama will continue to prioritize the Defense Ministry, including the Ghana Armed Forces. Even today, as I presented to the Ghana Armed Forces 5,000 mini bags of rice, 6,555 bottles of cooking oil, 4,800 tins of mackerel, 4,800 tins of tomatoes. But, Mr. Speaker, even as we ask for more, like Oliver Twist will do, it must be placed on record that a careful reading and synthesis of the order paper and the report of the Committee on Defense and Interior will suggest to everyone vividly that if you compare the allocation of 6,371,467,598 to the Ministry of Defense in 2025 to the 3 billion. So we are comparing 6 billion to 3 billion. To 3,891,151,856, you realize that this year's allocation is a quantum leap of 63.7%. Mr. Speaker, I didn't say 38%. It is 63.7%. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for your encouraging us to do more, but it will be placed on record that a 63.7% quantum leap is a clear indication of the trajectory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members. Honorable also noted.
Speaker, before I move, let me emphasize a related argument which follows from that of the Ministry of Interior and National Security that members have so eloquently espoused. We face issues of cybercrime, illegal mining, galamsey, conflicts between herdsmen and local communities, particularly farmers, violent extremism and terrorism. And so as a result of this, we have critical national infrastructure that must be continued with new ones initiated, particularly in our forward operating bases, in order to be able to place troops closer to where threats may emanate directly from. In addition, we also require to keep our troops in conflict areas, including Boko, presently active, well-fed, and because of all these issues, we think that we would have needed more than we have. However, what we have, we will manage with it with the hope that as the finance minister continues with his reset agenda and fixes the economy, hopefully he may come back to the House in the course of the year and allocate significant and commensurate amount that will be able to meet the new and additional challenges that we would have to address. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman for the committee.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved for the approval of 6,371,467,598 for the services of the Ministry of Defense. In doing so, Mr. Speaker, I would pray that the Hazard Department captures the report of the committee in its entirety, whilst I touch on the observations made by the committee for purposes of clarity. Mr. Speaker, the committee clearly observed at page 18 of the report that the imminent threat of terrorism and related crimes, including illegal mining, conflicts between herdsmen and local communities, and cyber crimes are threats that must be addressed as a matter of urgency. Mr. Speaker, the committee also noted at page 19 of its report that it is vital to ensure that the Afari Military Hospital is operationalized by the end of this financial year. This commitment has been made, and the Minister for Defense assured the committee that come what may, he would work closely with the Minister for Finance to ensure that all outstanding financial issues are resolved in order to operationalize the hospital. Mr. Speaker, the committee also noted with concern the rampant encroachment on lands belonging to the Ghana Armed Forces. The assurance was given that the Ghana Armed Forces had initiated steps to liaise with the Lands Commission to ensure that all legal documentation relating to the lands in question are completed and handed over to the armed forces to ensure that they are able to protect their lands from encroachment. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, and let me refer you to paragraph 18 of the report, the committee observed with keen interest that the armed forces of Ghana had incurred huge indebtedness to the tune of 38,97661 from the peacekeeping funds by the armed forces due to withdrawals to finance various activities, including ECOWAS mission in the Gambia, the Guinea-Bissau. Recognizing the impact of this indebtedness on peacekeeping operations, the committee recommends that the Minister for Defense collaborates with the Minister responsible for Finance to urgently reimburse the amount owed to the peacekeeping fund to ensure the security, well-being, and effective rotation of peacekeeping officers. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to approve and support the motion moved to enable the
regarding his ministry. I also commend him for that early days working relationship between him and his deputy. We've been seeing them working together. It's good for democracy that when people are made ministers, they work with their deputies and help them build capacity. So, Speaker, I want to urge the minister that some of these challenges are not to be colored with partisan views. The ministry he heads is a very sensitive ministry. Not too long ago, I heard him in the media lamenting and also making some allegations, against the previous administration that they were owing suppliers and they did not pay and all that. I mean, these are very needless, because he's working in a very sensitive environment. He will need parliament. Today, he's quiet, listening to the contributions from the minority side. Your duty at cabinet was to make your case. And when they were making the case for you, you were happy. Yet, you use the media to lambast the previous administration. Now, you've seen the budget before you. Can you pay them? Is it enough? So, don't be in a hurry to attack the one you succeeded. It's not good for the country and the ministry you had. Mr. Speaker, that said, I move to the next important thing, the budget. Mr. Speaker, we are hearing some 2.7 billion being spent at the Jubilee House, Office of Government Machinery. We are also seeing in this same budget some $800 million 800 million, yes. Some 800 million for the big push. Yet, the security of the state, the men and women in the armed forces, you are giving them a paltry sum of some 6 billion, of which over 70% is going into compensation.
Honorable Minister for Rules, please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, let me pause on this submission and address a preliminary issue. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Speaker, we work together in leadership. I told him to remain in this house. He told me he was going. He comes here to cause trouble. The road contractors are looking for you. Go and pay them. Then you come here and each time you come, trouble. You come here, the temperature will be going up. Please, Mr. Speaker, that's by the way. So, Mr. Speaker,